tonight, and I won't keep you long, but I just want to preach to you for a little while tonight about what are you worth? What's your worth? Hello, can you hear me? I seem like I'm quiet. What are you worth? Who are you and what are you worth? This morning, as God began to deal with me this morning early and turn these things up in my spirit, I think we have a worth problem sometimes in church. That we don't really know what we're worth. I'm just me. Well, that's great. I'm glad you're you. But God has a plan for you, and God has something for you, and God has something that He needs you to do. And Tommy, you might turn me up just a little bit because my voice is just messed up from having to sing, and if you don't mind just turn me up just a minute, and I'll try not to get too loud, but thank you. But I just have a question for you tonight, and is this: what do you think you're worth? Because what you think you're worth is what you expect somebody to give for you. What you think you're worth is what you expect to get in return. What do you think that you're worth? Are you worth anything? Well, I'm just humble, and being humble doesn't mean you're worthless. What are you worth? What are you worth? There's a song, and I may sing it here in a minute, I don't know. But one of the lines in the song is, "You thought I was worth saving, so you came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping, so you cleansed me up inside. You thought I was to die for, so you sacrificed your life, so I can be free, so I can be whole, so I can tell everyone I know." Awesome song. Awesome song. I'd never heard that song. It's about 2 years old now. Until I went to the Independent Assemblies Convention, they sang that song. I said, "What is that song?" And Kelly Q said, "You don't know that song?" I said, "No, I don't know that song." I went and asked, "What is that song?" And she said, "It's called Worth." He didn't look it up, so I looked it up. And so I looked it up, and man, that song just ministers to me. What are you worth? Actually, the name of the song is "You Were Worth Saving." I've heard it's called Worth or something like that. I don't know exactly. But you were worth saving tonight. You were worth keeping. You were to die for, so He sacrificed His life. So that you could be free, you could be whole, and you could tell everyone you know. What a great line. I don't remember who wrote the song. I heard Jason Krabs sing it, but I don't know who wrote the song or whatever. It doesn't really matter who wrote it. It just means that God gave us another wonderful song to tell us of the love of His Son and what we're worth. Amen? I believe with all my heart that God just continues to pour out song after song. Man, we're in a great time right now where God is pouring out songs after song of worship and praise that are just absolutely mind-blowing and spiritually uplifting, and they are good. Okay, it's not like it used to be. You know? When I hate to say contemporary gospel, that sounds so old, but when they called it contemporary gospel, first came out, it was pretty bad. It was just, it was just bad. But man, God is moving on these young people to write these songs, man. Young worshipers that are writing songs, and they're worshiping, and they have their hands in the air. They're not ashamed to have their hands in the air. They're not ashamed to go to church and worship and praise and give God glory. They're not ashamed to stand up and just, they don't care who's around them. They don't care who's beside them. They're just worshiping because God's done something in their lives. Right. So I want to ask you a question. What are you worth tonight? And what do you think that you're worth? I'm worth a lot of things. Evidently, I didn't think I was worth, but what are you worth? Maybe you're the rich young ruler today, and you got a lot of money, and you think you're worth a lot, and maybe nothing's going wrong, and maybe something happened, and maybe you got maybe somebody gave you some money, you got an inheritance, and so your bank account is fat, and your bank account is full. And so are you worth just what your money says and what your assets say? And is that what you're worth, or are you worth more than that? Because When the rich young ruler in Luke chapter 18, verse 18 through 23, if you'll put that up for me, please. Luke chapter 18. Luke 18 through 23. And Jesus said, now a certain ruler asked him, saying, Good teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? So Jesus said to him, Why do you call me good? No one is good but one, that is God. You know the commandments. Do not commit adultery. Do not murder. Do not steal. Do not bear false witness. Honor your father and your mother. He said, all these things have I kept from my youth. So when Jesus heard these things, he said, you still lack one thing. Sell all that you have and distribute to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven, and come follow me.
Right.
So maybe you're the rich young ruler and you have all these things, and you feel like your worth is your home and your car. And you feel like your worth is your stuff. Maybe your stuff is what defines you. And maybe that's what you're worth. I don't know. Maybe that's how you feel like you're worth. Because we all know, right, that we all strive to get better. And we do. Come on, let's be honest with each other. Listen, don't nobody go and say, I need a 1975 Monte Carlo. Y'all got one of those laying around? No, nobody's looking for a 75. Well, I guess it might be now because it's probably a classic car. You're like, okay, but you're not really looking for, some piece of junk. You're not looking for a 88 Yugo. Okay, that's what you're looking for. Okay, you're looking for something nice, right? You want to drive something. How many want to drive something nice?
Yes.
The rest of y'all are lying. Go sell everything you have and give it to the poor, then you have treasure in heaven. Then I like having air conditioning in my car. Amen. And if it's broken, I fix it. Amen.
Amen.
I like having a car that doesn't drip oil out the bottom of it. Amen?
Yeah.
I like having that kind of stuff. I like it because if it's broken, then you do what to it? You fix it. So we all strive for greater things, right? We all strive for better. We all strive for higher. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying you should go back to the way that we used to, some of us were taught about the more you have, the further away you are from God. That's a lie of the devil. And so that doesn't mean anything. Okay, now I'm going to go that. But listen. But maybe you're a rich young ruler today, and maybe you've kept the commandments all the days of your life. But you're wrapped up in your stuff.
Right.
You're wrapped up in making more money. You're wrapped up in making and buying more things. And there's nothing wrong, please don't misunderstand what I'm telling you. There's nothing wrong with being aggressive and going after what it is that you want in your life. Nothing wrong with that at all. Go for it. But don't forget about God in the process, and don't let God hang back in the back while you go out and go to work and say, well, God will understand. God does understand.
Yes, He does.
But hear me, what is your worth? Is your worth that paycheck? Is it worth the money to forget about God? Is it worth the money to set God to the side and say, God, I'll be back when I get retired? When I get to retirement age, I'll be back, God. And I love you, and I appreciate the open doors you've given me, and I thank you for all the things you've done for me, but I don't have time right now, God. Before service, I was telling Dean and the people, Dean and Doris and everybody up front, I was telling them, listen, I need to have a Sabbath. I'm being unscriptural. I don't have a Sabbath. I'm not resting ever. It's like Saturday. How many do everything possible you can squeeze in on a Saturday? Amen. Come on, because that's the day that you have, right? Oh, dear God in heaven. Are y'all awake? Maybe right now is your Sabbath. I don't know. Okay, listen. We squeeze everything we can in on a Saturday, because if we don't get it done on Saturday, it's not going to get done on Sunday because we go to church, right? And so then Monday we go back. Monday through Friday we're back to work, and sometimes we work half a day Saturday, and then we really try to squeeze everything in on Saturday. Because how many know the grass doesn't quit growing? Amen. Amen? The grass doesn't quit growing. Things don't quit breaking. You still have to fix them. Your air conditioner still goes out in your car. Amen. So listen, you still have all those things you have to fix and you have to repair. But what are you worth? Are you worth just that simple paycheck that you get? I'm worth a whole lot more than that. I'm worth a whole lot. Okay, how about this? Maybe you're a harlot named Rahab.
Well,
come on. Maybe you're somebody that nobody thought very much of. Maybe you're somebody that nobody thinks much about you. Maybe you don't think much about yourself. Thank you. Maybe you are Rahab the harlot. In James chapter 2, verse 25, she's mentioned. And I'm not going to get into all. You guys can study some of this stuff yourself. I'm not going to go into the history of who Rahab is. You guys need to check her out yourself. Likewise, also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works. Also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works when she received the messengers and had sent them out another way. You have to read the story to know what this is about. Because when the Israelites came to the city, she led them out another way. The spies came to the city and she snuck them out. And God thought so much of her that he put her in the lineage of Jesus.
Amen.
She's a harlot. Nobody cares about her. Nobody cared about Rahab the harlot, but God used somebody that nobody cared about.
Right.
So maybe you're sitting here today going, don't nobody care about me. And maybe they don't. Maybe. Yeah. But hear me. God still needs you and God still can use you. Well, you don't know my kids don't like me. My kids hate me. My parents don't like me. My brothers and my sisters don't like me. Nobody cares about me. You don't understand, Brother Jeff, what that's like. I know I don't understand what that's like. But I also know that you're not what somebody thinks of you is not your worth.
Right. Come on.
Rahab was a harlot, and back in the day, I'm sure they'd have thought of less than what they're thought of now. Because now it's politically incorrect to shun somebody. You can't do that anymore. You'll get like arrested or something. And so, but in that back in the day, she was by herself because nobody thought she was worth anything. She was just a harlot. But God picked out the one that didn't think they were worth anything and used them, put her in the lineage of Jesus, stuck her here in James chapter 2 and 25, and put her in the Hall of Faith.
Amen.
In Hebrews chapter 11, verse 31, she's in the Hall of Faith. What's the Hall of Faith? All the great people of faith in Hebrews 11.
Amen.
Read it. So she's gone from not being worth anything in the sight of people to now being in the lineage of Jesus to now being in the Hall of Faith and now being in James chapter 2 verse 25 and saying, hey, by works she was justified. Not just by faith, but by works. So understand, listen, you may not think you're worth anything. But by the time we get done tonight, you're going to know what God thinks you're worth.
Right.
Okay? By the time I wrap this up in about 22 minutes, you're going to think, hey, maybe God does care about me. Maybe God really does think that I'm worth something. Because I look around this church tonight, listen, and I'm so grateful. Listen, I'm such a blessed pastor that about a little over half of the church comes back on Sunday night because that's very rare. It is. I don't know who counted tonight, but I don't know how many people are here. Somebody shout at me. How many?
76.
Y'all get your numbers right. 76? Okay. 74? Okay. And so, 76? Okay. 76, okay? That's very rare. Very rare. I venture to say you're the most populated church in Central Oklahoma tonight. You are. Without question. And so don't tell me God doesn't honor your faithfulness.
Right.
It doesn't use that as part of what you're worth. Come on now. You look around you tonight. Look at all these people that are sitting around here with you. Now, I know we lose the people. We lose about 60 people on Sunday night. We always have. I guess we always will. I don't know. But at Sunday school, we always lose between Sunday school and church, there's a 60-person gap. Always has been in this church. I couldn't close it. I don't know if anybody's ever, when I was superintendent, I couldn't close that gap. But I tried everything besides juggle and spin plates. Okay, I tried everything I could do to get 60 people difference to come from Sunday school to church, and I couldn't do it. I don't know what that hour difference is, but it's a big difference. And that's just, because to me, church starts at 10. But I'm telling you I'm weird, so it's okay. I know I'm weird. I accept my weirdness. Okay, I get it. And so, but my worth is not wrapped up in whether I can get 60 people to come between Sunday school and church, or I get 60 or 70 people to come between Sunday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night. That's not what I'm worth. And I just, though it bugs me, that's not the worth that God has placed on my life. But you guys don't tell me that God does not honor that, because He does. He honors your faithfulness to His house. He honors those things. And I'm not talking bad about folks that aren't here. There's some folks that are working. Stephen's working tonight. That's where he's at. He'd be here. When he didn't work at Sigma, he was here Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday. And now he works Wednesday night and Sunday night. He can't help that. And I'm not getting on to him about that. Come on, help me a minute. I'm not a tyrant that's hard. It's like, well, bless God, you got to sleep out in the parking lot. So you'll be the first one here. I'm not doing that. Dude, I would rather you not be here if you don't want to be here. That's good preaching, Brother Jeff. I know. I know. I would rather you not sit there with your arms crossed and move me, big boy. I'd rather not see that. Now, is that what God would rather? I don't know. I didn't pray about it. But it's hard to sit there, and you've seen it. You guys that are preachers, you've seen it. You guys see people sitting there going, look like a Charlie Brown kid with a yawn, and their mouth as big as their head. You're like, dude, go to sleep somewhere. I mean, I understand, man. I get it. My worth is not wrapped up in all that stuff. That's not my worth. I do the best I know how to do. I do the best job that I can possibly do. As pastors, I try my hardest. I really do. Yes, I understand. I really do. And I know I do some dumb stuff. And I know I'm a horrible administrator. I know that. I know my shortcomings. I'm trying to get better. I really am. But understand this. But my worth is not wrapped up in that. God has given me worth beyond that. Okay? My worth is not my paycheck. My worth is not the size of our church. My worth is not the size of my family, or my size of my home, and my cars and all that stuff. Listen, it's been, the last new car I bought was in 2000. So that last new car I bought, but nobody had ever driven. And I thought, well, this is stupid. I'm never buying another brand new car ever again in my life. Well, why not, brother? I'll tell you why not. I paid $8,000 more because it had no miles on it than I would if it had 2,000 miles on it. I thought, I'll never do this again. It was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life. My wife drives a 2011, I think, Chrysler Town and Country. Okay? We have burned the wheels off that thing. It has been paid for 3 years. It runs really good because it's paid for. It's not the most beautiful van in the world. Most of y'all say, I wouldn't have a minivan. I'm not old enough for a minivan. Y'all not as young as you think you are. Okay, so listen. And so, but that's her deal, man. When you got 4 kids, if you go anywhere, you got 6 people. Come on. I'm sorry. A two-door hatchback don't get it for us. Because I don't let you put kids in the hatch anymore, right? Nobody ever did that, right? That's a lie of the devil. Nobody ever slept with the back seat thing either, did you? In the back window, did you? Oh, yeah. We used to fight to see who could sleep in the back window. And you get pulled over and handcuffed and thrown in jail for doing that now. That's just crazy. Anyway, doesn't matter. Okay. But my worth is not wrapped up in all that stuff. And I'm sorry I got off on the buy new cars when I don't care. Okay, listen on. That's for me in my house. We shall not do that. Okay, so listen. I've got a cousin in the car business, man. He hooks me up. Okay, here we go. Listen. She's in the Hall of Faith because her worth is more than being a harlot. The rich young ruler, he thought his worth was wrapped up in his stuff. But Jesus tells him, I'm going to read it one more time. And he said, verse 22, so that Jesus heard these things, he said to him, you still lack one thing. Sell all that you have and distribute to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And here's the part I want to get to. Come follow me. There's very seldom places in the Bible where Jesus uses these words. I believe Jesus had an open opportunity for this young man to become one of his disciples, one of his close circle. Because he kept everything. And Jesus said, I know you have. I know who you are. And he said, come follow me. This is what he was worth. But he thought he was just worth his treasure.
Right.
Come on, help me.
Come on, say.
You don't know his name because he thought my treasure is more of my worth than coming following after Jesus. I don't know if his name was Bill. Okay? He could have been Bill the young ruler. I don't know who he was. But the Bible doesn't mention his name, but I have a feeling, how many of you have ever had a sneaking suspicion? I have a sneaking suspicion had he said, I'll do it, and came and followed Jesus. I have a suspicion you might know this young man's name.
That's right. Come on.
But right now you know what he thought he was worth, which was all his stuff. And so maybe you just think you're worth your stuff. Maybe you just think you're not worth anything. Maybe you have a Peter spirit about you. Maybe you think that you are rough and tough and you just show everybody what you're going to do. And then when it gets, the rubber meets the road, you're not strong enough, tough guy, to stand. Maybe you have that. Maybe you feel like you failed Jesus and the rooster crowed. And you feel like you failed Jesus, and so you don't feel like you're worth anything. I've let God down. Oh yeah. I've let Jesus down. When everything got real hard, I left Him. And I'm here to tell you right now that walking this Christian faith isn't always tiptoe through the tulips, puppy dogs, and rainbows. It's not always just easy going, no big deal, and you don't ever go through anything. That's a lie of the devil. You will go through some stuff. But the problem is, the answer is, can you stand in the midst of the trial? Can you stand? Can you praise Him through the middle if you were here this morning? Can you praise Him through the middle? Come on, help me a minute. Listen, maybe you have a Thomas worth. Maybe you got to see God do something before you really believe. Nothing wrong with that. I want to see God do something. God, I'm so hungry. Sister Heike, I'm so hungry to see God just move in people's lives.
Amen.
I'm so ready to see God just turn people's world upside down. I'm ready to see kids come back to God that have been gone for 20 years and they return and they put their faith. I'm so ready to see. I'm so hungry for that. So I may have a little bit of a Thomas worth. Maybe I'm just believing, God, you're going to do something and I'm waiting to see it. Let me see your hands. Let me see your side. Come on. Come on. Are you ready to see God do something? Maybe I have a little Thomas in me. So hungry to see God do something. I pray all the time. God, let me see. And I'm not going to get into names, but let me see their kids come home. Let me see them get right with God. God, in my lifetime, let me see them get right with God. Let me see them move in my children's life like I've never seen. God, let me see them weeping at an altar. Somebody help me just a minute. Oh, Jesus. Church, can I help you tell you if we don't start seeing our children weeping at an altar, they're going to be gone and they're going to be graduating and they're going to get out of school, and God, if they don't have a relationship with God, I don't know. I don't know. So maybe I have a little bit of a Thomas worth. Maybe I have a little bit of a John worth. I'll stay here with you, Jesus. I'm going to stay here with you. I'm going to stand right here. I'm going to watch you get crucified, but I'm going to stay right here. I'm going to stand here by your mother. I'm going to stand here by the other Mary. I'm going to stand right here because I love you.
Right.
I love you. John's worth wasn't just wrapped up in being a disciple. John's worth was wrapped up in loving Jesus.
Right.
Peter's worth was wrapped up in being a disciple and doing the things that Jesus did. And he kind of walked away. Thomas's worth was kind of the same in the fact that as long as he was seeing Jesus walk on water, he's good. And when he sees him crucified, he's not so good. Maybe John the Baptist, maybe his worth was wrapped up in being the Baptist and being the forerunner of Christ. Maybe that was his worth, and maybe it was, but it's a great tribute to him, but it wasn't what he was worth. His job was to be a forerunner of Christ, his 6 months elder of Jesus and his cousin, and baptizing people in the River Jordan and changing the minds of people of how God works. Instead of sacrificing, now we're baptizing and we're coming up afresh and anew. Maybe John got wrapped up in who he was because he sent word to Jesus and he said, "Are you the Messiah, or do we look for another?" And Jesus said, "The blind see, the dead are raised,
Yes.
and the deaf hear."
Right. Come on.
And John said, "I'm good with that. I'm ready." So his worth was not just wrapped up in baptizing people, though that was his job. You're not just who you are in the church. That's not what your worth is.
Right.
You're not just a teacher. That's not your worth. You're not just a musician. That's not your worth. You're not just a bus driver. You're not just a whatever you are.
Come on.
That's not what your worth is. Your worth is not just what you do. I watched my pastor and I watched pastors that age. And when they quit pastoring, they don't know what to do with themselves. Because their whole worth is wrapped up in being a pastor.
Come on.
Right.
That's not what God's called us. That's not my worth. That's my job. And that's what I do. But when they don't know how to let somebody come along beside them and take the torch and take the baton, because if I give over the baton, then I lose my identity and my worth.
Right. Come on.
That's not correct thinking. Because that's not who I am.
Right.
That's what I do. I'm not just Pastor Jack. Dude, let me just tell y'all something. And I mean this with all my heart. I just want y'all to look at me. If I stop pastoring this church tomorrow, I'm going to be working in a church next month, doing something. Because my worth is not wrapped up in being Pastor Jeff. My worth is being a servant of Christ. That's who I am. And I'm going to be teaching somebody the Word of God. I'm going to be doing something. Well, that's easy for you to say. No, I'm just telling you, I know who I am and I know what I am. I'm not that. That's not what I am. Listen, but without question, there were certain things. If you can give me 8 minutes, I'll wrap up. You're sitting here today, and maybe you don't know what you're worth. You think that you're worth being a nursery worker. And I want to clarify something before I let you out of here. I'm not belittling what we do, because what you do is very important, no matter what it is. I don't care what it is. Go get the ice, okay? Do it. That is a great attribute, and that you should do what God's laid on your heart to do. But don't put your entire worth in that area. That's not all I am. I'm just not the ice guy. I'm a servant of the King. I am an heir and a joint heir with Jesus Christ. I'm above and I am not beneath. I'm the head and I am not the tail. No matter what I'm doing, that is my worth. I am worth saving. I'm worth saving. He saved me, so I am worth the blood of Jesus Christ. I am worth His resurrection. I am worth those things. I am worth what He He laid on the cross and died for me. That's what I'm worth, and if that doesn't excite you, I have problems with that. That's my worth. I was worth saving. He died for me.
Yes, He did.
Not just you. for me.
Come on. You're free.
Does that not churn something in you?
Come on.
I don't want you to have to work it all.
Come on.
You know how to already be worked up.
Come on.
Come on now.
You're free. Come on.
My God in heaven. I'm not worth just my stuff. My profit and loss sheet doesn't equal what I'm worth. The mission tortilla profit and loss sheet does not determine what I'm worth. The offering and the tithe does not determine what Pastor Nance is worth. Because I'll just be right now, y'all can't afford me. I'm just kidding. But hear me. Hear me. It doesn't determine what I'm worth in the eyes of God.
Right. Come on.
The rich young ruler had all this stuff, and God was like, I don't care. Get rid of that trash. Come follow Jesus.
Come on.
Rahab, I know you've been with more men today than most women are into their lives. But I don't care. I need to use you. And I need to use not what they think you're worth, but what I think you're worth.
Come on.
Because I need to use you because I got some spies coming they're trying to kill. I need you to let them down. Put that scarlet string out there, thread out there. So they know where to go. Come on now. Rahab, I'm gonna put you in the lineage of my son. Because I think that much of you. The world doesn't think anything of you, but I think that much of you. That you're going to be in the lineage of my son. I'm going to birth into this planet. I'm going to put myself into this planet, and I'm going to use your bloodline. Come on, help me, man.
Come on.
That is pretty impressive.
Right.
Peter, really? You water-walking disciple? The road gets ready and the road gets rough, you're going to walk away from me? I just think it's interesting. Maybe I don't think this stuff, but I just think it's interesting. Why would Jesus use a chicken to witness? Because all of Peter's life, when a rooster crowed, he remembered that. You hear me? When you think about that for a second. Every time Peter heard a rooster crow, he thought about when he denied Jesus.
Oh.
Why would he use a chicken? Why not a dog barking or a cow mooing or something? Why? Because every morning, when the sun came up, Jesus. And I don't care how much forgiveness you've gotten. I don't care how much you've gotten over something, how much you've gotten through it, how much you've gotten over it and around it and under it. Your mind still remembers. Now, I don't know, we used to talk about, well, I'll forgive them and I don't remember what happened. Yes, you do. You remember. You don't get spiritual amnesia when you forgive somebody. You remember what happened. The trick is, can you get through it? And so every day when the sun came up, Peter was reminded in his mind that he denied Jesus 3 times.
Right.
But his worth wasn't wrapped up in his denial. His worth was this: go tell my disciples and Peter that the tomb's empty. Go tell my disciples, and I want you to make sure, get this straight, and Peter. Don't just tell the disciples. I want you to make sure I mention Peter by name, because I want him to know that I'm all right. It's okay. I want Peter to know it's all forgiven. I want Peter to know it's okay, because his worth is not, he's not just simply the guy who denied me 3 times, because I'm pretty confident in here. There's some guys that have denied Christ more than 3 times in here.
Oh.
And when you go to Jerusalem, when you guys all get to go, they have a statue outside of Caiaphas' house where Peter supposedly was standing when he denied Christ for the third time and the rooster crowed. And there's a statue of Peter with roosters. Isn't that the legacy you'd like to have? But his worth was not wrapped up in a statue in Israel. Come on, help me a minute. It's right there on the road from Caiaphas' house to where Jesus stood trial. You can walk the same road, and that statue is still standing there. And they put a statue to memorialize his greatest failure.
Come on.
There's not a fountain in the Sea of Galilee with him sinking. But there's a statue where he supposedly denied Jesus for the third time.
Right.
But his worth was not wrapped up in his denial. And his worth was not wrapped up in his failure to walk to Jesus in the Sea of Galilee. His worth was this: I'm going to go evangelize the world. And in his death, he said this: I'm not worthy to be crucified like my Savior crucified me upside down.
Right.
Come on, somebody.
Come on.
That was his worth. Thomas never failed to believe Jesus again. When he saw his hands and he saw his side, he never failed again to believe Jesus and evangelize all of India and most of that far east part of the world. He was not wrapped up in his "I will not believe lest I see." That was not his worth. His worth was his evangelism to that part of the world. John, listen, he is the disciple that, I love the way John writes about his own self. Jesus said to John, the disciple whom he loved. John's writing that about himself. He liked the other guys, but he loved me, you know? And so I like that. But John wasn't wrapped up in just being the disciple that Jesus loved. John's worth was not just about being the disciple that Jesus loved. His worth was to be the disciple that stood by Jesus from top to bottom, from the first day to the last day. John stood by Jesus and watched every situation in his life and watched him die. And ran and beat Peter to the sepulchre.
Right.
I noticed how John wrote that in there too. I like John. I like John. Just a little jab at Peter. I can still outrun you. Now Peter was about 20 years older than John, so I understand it. You know, Peter may have pulled a hammy. So listen. And maybe John the Baptist, once he found out that Jesus was the Christ, he was cool with whatever was going on.
Right.
Because his worth wasn't just wrapped up in dunking people in the River Jordan. The River Jordan's not a very pretty river. It's kind of ugly. It's kind of green. It's kind of nasty. It's not some beautiful picture you have in your mind of crystal clear water in a trickling brook running over rocks. You know, it's not, is it, Tom? It has stuff floating in it. It's got weeds and stuff in it. Now, it's the river that feeds, you know, most of Israel, the water. It's very important, but it's just not very pretty. We were at a place called Tel Dan, and there's a spring-fed rivers and creeks, and they're beautiful. Clear water, you can see all the way to the bottom of them. That's what you'd think the Jordan River would be like, right? So John's baptizing in this green water. But that's not his legacy. That's not his worth. His worth was to be the forerunner of Christ and open up a way where Jesus can come. That's what his legacy, that's what his worth was. But what are you worth? That's what I started with, right? What are you worth? What are you wrapped up in? Are you just worth your stuff? No. You're worth more than that. Are you just worth your family? No, you're worth more than that. Are you just worth your ministry? Maybe the ministry that you have, you just wrap yourself up in it and that's what you're worth. No, it's more than that. You're worth more than that. You're worth everything that Jesus did to get you to this point.
Right.
You're worth His blood. You're worth His time. You're worth His effort to call you and draw you and speak to you. You're worth the life and a life more abundant that He's given you, the opportunity to have. You know, not all of us have it, but we have the opportunity. You're worth all those things. You're worth saving. And here's the cool thing that most of us don't ever understand and we don't get, and please don't be bored with me yet because you're going to miss the whole point. What we don't ever really, we understand we're worth saving. We get it, okay? I think that most of us understand that Jesus died for us and we're worth saving. But I don't think we understand that we're worth keeping.
Come on, let's go.
Come on. Yeah. Right.
I'm wrapping up. God does everything He can to hang on to you.
Right.
He gives you every opportunity to repent and go back to Him. He does it because you're worth keeping. Not only were you worth saving, April, you were worth hanging on to change your life.
Right.
You were worth cleaning up to be used.
Come on.
He thought so much of you that He died just to be with you. And so we understand easily the concept that Jesus died for my sins and I'm saved. We understand that concept. But the concept we don't get really is that He hangs on to us with everything that He has. And the only way we can separate ourselves is if we kick Jesus to the curb.
That's right, come
The
on.
only way that we can say, you know, I don't want to live for you anymore, God. And I know we don't make that statement. Most of us don't make that statement. But subconsciously we say, I don't want to do this anymore. Boom. And He hangs on. And still when you kick Him to the curb, He's still there talking to you. Say, listen, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. I guess none of y'all have ever backslidden.
That's good preaching.
Come on.
Where He's constantly on your mind, and He's constantly in your mind, and He's constantly... You're worth more than just simply going to church. You're worth more than just simply being whatever it is in the church. You're worth more than that because you're worth saving and you're worth keeping.
Right.
You're worth hanging on to. You're worth holding on to. You're worth it. Somebody tell me, so listen, look at somebody and say, I'm worth it. You don't even believe it.
Come on.
Jeff was going to say stuff. I hate when he has to say stuff.
It's all good.
Are you worth it or not? People have a neighbor. Turn to your neighbor. I said, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I'm worth the crucifixion of Jesus. I'm worth it.
Come on.
Amen.
He saw something in me. I am worth more than just simply my stuff. I am worth the blood of Jesus in my life. I am worth it. And tell somebody the next, tell your other neighbor you like, and say this, I'm worth keeping.
You're worth it.
My wife and I are both, it's really bad, we're both real sentimental. So we have stuff that nobody else cares about, and I don't even know why we care about it. Oh, my baby colored that. In 1998, she colored something. Oh, let's keep it.
Come on.
Because it's worth to us, it's worth keeping. Everybody else is like, throw that in the trash. She didn't even mean to bring it home from school. We got it in a tub somewhere, okay? And Adam's first baseball glove. Adam's first baseball hat. Doesn't even fit his big old noggin. You know, it's just I think we have every baseball cap he ever had for every baseball team he ever played. Why? Because we're stupid? I don't know. But for us, it's worth saving. I mean, I don't know.
Come on.
I don't know. We have every stupid thing because to us, it's worth saving. For Olivia, we have everything she ever soccer trophy, whatever. Picture, cleats. She probably still has the cleats. They're probably this big. Her feet are this big. That's what I said. She can't get her big toe in, you know. And we got all this stuff that we keep for whatever reason. You know.
Come on.
Well, God's sentimental about you. Because you're worth keeping.
Right. Come on.
Even when he doesn't, even when you don't care. But they probably don't care nothing about, he don't care nothing about his baseball hats, he don't care nothing about his caps, he don't care nothing about any of that stuff, but his mama does. And I'm sure they're in the tub in my attic somewhere. And they'll be there until we die, and someone goes through and goes, why did they keep this stuff? You know, that's the truth.
Come on.
You have to, and my kids have to sort through this stuff and go, why would they keep this stuff? You know? Because it's worth saving for us.
Come on.
So for you guys, let me just, yeah, Jeff Rapp, I'm trying.
Come on.
Here we go. Your worth is not simply your stuff, your calling. It's not your worth. Your worth is what God thought you were worth. That's dying for, bleeding for, being sanctified for, hanging on to. He loves you more than you love yourself. And listen, He cares more for you than you care for yourself. And He will hang on to you when nobody else will hang on to you, because to Him, you're worth it all. And I want you to turn to your neighbor one more time, and I want you to yell at him, I'm worth it! I'm worth it! Stand to your feet. Stand to your feet.